So be real quick to say what you're not going to do, so opposed to say what you're going to do, because that's the quickest way to get yourself run out the door. I'm gonna tell you right now. You can say whatever you want.
Right.
You can say it's not fair. You can say I'm gonna call HR. And somebody says that's not my job, and your coworker does the job that you're saying that you're not going to do. Who gets promoted first?
True.
So when you say that's not my job, you're basically telling your boss,
you're only going to get this much out of me, and that's it.
But on the flip side, right? Employers, I'm going to put this in your corner for a second. Don't be the employer that knows the person that's going to take extra responsibility and always pile on to that person, because you're going to burn them out.
What do you think are 4 words that can kill your career?
That's not my job. I know why people say it. A lot of times they say it because they feel like they're not getting paid enough for what they do, or they feel like they got to set boundaries. So I just want to clarify. This isn't me saying that's not my job. That's not saying say yes to everything. That's not saying let people use you. That's not saying let people work you to death. But what it is saying is, before you say that's not my job as a lead freaking phrase, just know that you may be shutting yourself and selling yourself short. But what happens is, I'll give you a perfect example, all right? So when I was back in the day, when I was a supervisor, my manager would go on vacation, and then he would give me all his stuff, and I'd have to do all his stuff and all his work. And I easily could have said, that's not my job, because other people that I worked with said that it wasn't their job. Yo, man, I'm not doing that. They don't pay me for that. So then what happened, though, is when it came time for a promotion and that guy left, well, Gerard has stepped in several times. He's done this before. He has demonstrated he can do this work. I got the promotion, not the other dudes. Those dudes ended up working for me, and then I'm having to fire them because I knew they were sorry. You know what I'm saying? So, and just know that if you always hide behind your job description, don't be surprised when your growth stays hidden too. Right?
Right. But I mean, you look at your job description when you first get hired. If you're not constantly looking at your job description, like who are you to say that's not my job?
You can't say it. You can't.
Like, how do you know that's not your job?
Yeah, because the whole thing's not going to be on the job description. So be real quick to say what you're not going to do, so opposed to say what you're going to do, because that's the quickest way to get yourself run out the door. I'm going to tell you right now. You can say whatever you want.
Right.
You can say it's not fair. You can say I'm going to call HR. Guess what? From the employer standpoint, I'm going to find a way to figure out what part of your job you're not doing. Now, unless it's unethical, unless it's something that's illegal. If they ask you to do something, do it. Because here's the thing. I hear all the time about people saying how the jobs don't pay enough and there's not enough opportunity and all these things. But when somebody says that's not my job and your coworker does the job that you're saying that you're not going to do, who gets promoted first?
True. And also, if it's not your job, you might want to look at reevaluating your career plans.
Hey, there's a lot of opinions and topics on this kind of stuff right here. But look, for more career advice, for work-life culture, and just how to get ahead at work, please like, subscribe, and share to our channel.
Definitely. We love the feedback that we're getting. It's a lot of fun when you guys share and let people know what's going on. Yeah.
And people say it for different reasons, right? So you might want to say it because you want to protect your time, or you want to protect like your boundaries. And some people just say it because they're freaking lazy. Right? So then that's another thing too. But then you're the same person that wants to complain when opportunity doesn't present themselves, or you get a 2 or 3 on your performance review because you're not stretching yourself and you're not doing those extra things. Because a lot of times, let me tell you something, when people want to get promoted and they want to pick who's going to get promoted, they're going to have an interview process and all those things. But what comes up consistently is, have they done stuff to stretch themselves outside of what they normally do to do the next level?
Because that's what you ultimately want, is people that can step up from and within your company to the next level. I love to hire from within and promote from within before I outsource.
Most companies want to promote from within.
Yeah.
Most companies do. Now, you do want to go ahead and grab some people from outside of the organization to bring you, some different perspectives and things like that. But for the most part, it's a lot easier to promote from within because that person's already been there. That person's already got loyalty. That person's already got trust and stuff like that with the business. So they want to do that. Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is like, I get it though, right? So a lot of it is you own your job, you own your career, you own your career path, right? So when you say that's not my job, you're basically telling your boss,
you're only going to get this much out of me and that's it. And I mean, honestly, I don't think employers are out there to like squeeze their employees dry. Do you?
No, but
that's not what we're talking
But
about.
on the flip side, right? Employers, I'm going to put this in your corner for a second. Don't be the employer that knows the person that's going to take extra responsibility and always pile on to that person because you're going to burn them out, right? So I understand you want to delegate. I understand you want to get things off your plate, but are you delegating to get that person to the next level? Are you delegating because you just don't want to do the work? Or are you delegating because you're afraid to ask the other person to do it? I see that all the time where you see a manager who constantly gives, it's just like my old job. The biggest reward for hard work is more work sometimes. Honestly, whoever does it the fastest, whoever does it the quickest, whoever does it the best, that person usually gets more work because the manager's too lazy to develop somebody else to do it. So don't be that lazy manager that says, oh, the person that wants to step up, you give them all the things but without giving them a bonus, without giving them a raise, or without giving them proper feedback that he's doing a great job or he or she's doing a great job. You don't want to do that. So it works two ways. Like you can't be the one that says, I'm going to give this person extra responsibility all the time, but don't have any reward behind it.
That's true. Yep, that's true. I agree with that.
If you do more outside of your job, you're going to get more visibility. If you do more outside of your job, you're going to raise awareness and people might want to give you a promotion or give you a raise or something like that. But you got to know the difference between being used and you got to know the difference between being available for everybody's well-being, right? So don't be that employee who immediately throws up the guard and says, that's not my job, because that's not going to get you anywhere.
And, right. It's going to cut a lot of opportunity off really quick.
Yep. So, but then if you work for yourselves, guess what? Everything's your freaking job.
Everything.
You're the HR, your finance, your sales, your operations, and you're the janitor.
Training. Yes.
Training, you're everything, right? So think about it. When you're working for somebody else, it's easy to say that's not my job, but you're working for yourself. You're pretty much all the jobs at one time. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So yeah. So as long as it's training you and giving you something valuable, don't do that. Don't do that.